All right, we are live. Hello, hello, everyone. So glad to be here on this Tuesday with you all. I see Corbin in the chat, so thank you so much for coming, Corbin. I appreciate you. Welcome, everyone, to today's live. Today is about a couple things. First and foremost, I've got my group Past Life Regression workshop coming up here. So let me show you that real fast. We've got this workshop coming up on Saturday the 8th, and it's going to be at 11 a.m. Central Time. And it is going to be via Zoom. So wherever you are in the world, as long as the time zone isn't too horrible, you are welcome to join. And it's really going to be a fun event. I'm going to talk a little bit today about this event and what you can expect from it, as well as the importance of past life work, which is what this workshop is going to be all about. Which, speaking of past life regression and my services, of course, if you want to know more about my work, more about my practice, as well as to get in touch with me or to book yourself a session, all of that information is over here on my website. So you can see the bookings here, and I'll show you that page in just a moment. We've also got all of the breakdowns of my different services here as well, if you are interested. So if you click on that bookings page there, it is going to bring you on over to this page here. We've got the one-on-ones or the group here. And so the group workshop is right here available for you to secure your ticket now. So without further ado, let's jump on into today's stuff. So first, I wanted to make sure to clarify for anyone who is just tuning in to get some more information on this workshop, that there is no prior experience needed for this workshop. Oh, hello, Emma. So good to see you. Thanks so much for stopping in. So no prior experience is needed for this workshop. So you don't need to have done a session before. You don't even need to have meditated before to be able to come and experience this. There's really no need to worry about what's going to happen, because I'm going to be there guiding you along the way. And we'll be going through everything that you'll need to know in order to have the best experience. Really, all that you need to do in coming is to come with an open mind and a willingness to participate in the experience. And with that, you're going to have a great time. So again, no prior experience needed. You don't need to have had a session or experienced hypnosis before. You don't need to be an avid meditator even. That can certainly help you in the ease of relaxation. But as far as the experience goes, there's nothing needed. So wanted to get that out of the way, make sure that everyone knew that. Oh, hello. So good to see you, Lorianne. Thanks so much for popping in. Appreciate you. So the other piece that I wanted to also get out of the way right up front is that a lot of times with past life regression, people have this trigger around trauma, and trauma is certainly a part of what can be worked through in past life regression. But a lot of times people have anxiety or worry about what's going to come up for them, and potentially re-experiencing the trauma or reigniting it. And there can be a lot of worries and fears around that. And I really, I press this on my clients and make sure that they understand this going into a session. It's the same for this type of a group experience. You are partnering up with your higher self in something like this. And especially when you're working with me, the way that I work is really all about the higher self and tuning into that part of you, working with them in tandem as you explore your past lives, your future lives. And with that, you are never going to be shown something that you are not prepared to experience. You're never going to be given more that you can handle during the experience. And that goes for one-on-one sessions. That is the same for these group types of situations. And so I'll get more into that as well, but I wanted to put that up front just in case anyone had those types of worries or concerns about the experience, and just give you all that information. So before we dive any further, please make sure you like this video and definitely share it out as well if you have anyone in your life that may be interested in this event but be unsure about what it's all about, or wants some more information on the event coming up. And so make sure you share this with anyone that might be interested. And before we jump into that topic, I did feel guided to pull a card for y'all from um, the Healing Waters Oracle deck that I've been using this week. I wanted to pull a card on what guidance or what information is needed for those who are coming and experiencing that event on Saturday with me. And so I wanted to pull a card for that collective, the group, and the people who will be coming and experiencing that, and what they can expect. And we do have a card already. Hopped right out. Oh, wow. This is a fun one. So I'll put it up there for you guys to see. Hopefully you can see that. It says the ripple effect. The ripple effect. Part of something bigger. Details are taken care of. I think that this is a beautiful card for the group aspect of this workshop, because it really is about being a part of something bigger. And especially for those of you who might have a little bit of apprehension about having a full session of your own, or not sure about this whole past life thing, this is a great experience for you to come and have that group support and have that group energy helping support you through this experience. And it's really a gentle, beautiful, loving way of coming together as a community and doing some of this deep work together in a safe space where you've got support, not only from me, but from the other participants. So I think that's really what this card is guiding us to. And I think to the details piece, I'll get more into the details of it all and what what you can expect from the event. But I find with a lot of this work, it's best to be open and to be as free of expectation as possible, so you can experience the experience to its fullest and not be comparing it to something in your mind that is a preconceived notion or what you think it might be or should be. Really being open and again partnering with your higher self in that. Lorianne, I love that. Right? I read your mind. We are always in sync. We are always in sync. We got that telepathy going on with the MJC. Thank you, Corbin. Yes, great message. I agree. I think it's really a good one for us today. Go with the flow. Absolutely, Lynn. I think that is perfect advice for hypnosis and for regression, as well as progression. Going into the future is pretty similar too. But all right, let us get into it. So I'm not going to take too much of your guys' time today. I'm not trying to drag this out too long, but I definitely wanted to share some of the importance of past life regression. Like I said, some more about this experience, and make sure you stay tuned for the end, because I'm going to give you a little bit of a peek into what you can expect and what we'll be getting into at the workshop. So first and foremost, I think that this event came to me and I really felt led to have it at this time for a couple different reasons. And a lot of it had to do with the astrology and the energies that I was feeling there. For those of you who are not familiar with astrology, and I'm definitely not an astrologer, I'm not formally studied, but I definitely have absorbed a lot of the information and I'm really interested in it. It's helped me in a lot of different ways. And so I definitely look to the astrology to help me to understand what's going on in my world personally and on a larger context. So we have not only Venus retrograde and Mercury going retrograde very soon here, which both of those retrogrades, retrograde in general signals a switch in direction. It can also signal that time for review or reflection or even release. Like I hear a lot of the re words, words with retrograde. And so just that alone, I think, is a good indicator of the timing for working with past lives. Um, I love that. Yes, Emma, looking it up. And yes, right. Things are always astrology linked. And I think of astrology very much as this, as above, so below. So it's not like a deterministic thing. It's more of that reflection showing us what's going on here. And thinking of it as like expressions of what's going on rather than Venus retrograde made me do it. Like it's not that kind of a thing. But beyond the retrogrades going on, we also have eclipse season right around the corner, and eclipses are oftentimes big energetic moments, right? And they're oftentimes about that release, that transition into a new period, that moment of newness, which requires releasing the old. And so beyond those couple of things, we also have the astrological New Year coming with Aries season on March 20th. And there's a lot of Aries energy coming up. There's a lot of things shifting into Aries, a lot of things just really bringing that energy up to the forefront. And so I think that with that shift into Aries, that's about new beginnings. That's about new action, new energy, trying new things, going new ways. It can show up a lot of different ways, but I think that with that coming up, now is the perfect time to be releasing some of the old, to be letting go of and transmuting some of those old energies that are no longer serving. And oftentimes, those are wrapped up in past lives. And so we'll get more into that, but kind of at a basic level, the astrology was telling me, now's the time, let's do this event. And I'm really excited to bring it and to share this space with y'all and to see what comes up, because just like with individual sessions, I never know what's going to come up, and I never know what experiences y'all are going to have. And part of the joy of this is sharing those stories. And I just love hearing from clients what they experienced and how it went for them, and how it shifted things within them in profound ways, because there is always transformation with this type of work. So yes, I love that, Lorianne. Astrology is linked to nature like us. Right? Wouldn't that be fun? We'll see about that. We'll see about that. That's up to Corbin, but I definitely have pitched the idea to him, because I would love to. I love chatting with him about it anyway, but I would love to chat with him here. Of course, no pressure, Corbin. We appreciate you there behind the keyboard. But anyway, oh yeah, great point. Especially now that Mercury has entered Aries, such a forerunner for larger themes that will develop this year. Like I said, I absorb a lot of the astrology. I'm not necessarily the astrologer myself. So feel free to add to the comments any of your own reflections or your own insights as well. We really appreciate having Corbin and his astrology knowledge along with us here. All right. So besides the astrology, I also think that past life work and working in regression like this is so powerful and really, really impactful. And while it's certainly a subject that has gained some steam over the years, and certainly is, I think, in certain circles pretty well accepted and celebrated, I think on the whole, we still don't have a whole lot of regressionists. We don't have a whole lot of people working in past lives like this. And I think, especially for those of us in the Western world, those who might not be awake yet, don't necessarily realize the importance of working in this way. And so whether you're well versed in past lives, or you don't know anything at all, hopefully the information that I share today helps you to understand why this is important, and why I think this event is so important. So really, there's a lot of different things that we can get into with past lives. There's so many different aspects and facets of our existence, our being, our life, our narrative, our story, that can be tied to past lives and can be understood in new, fresh ways through past lives. And so yes, thank you, Corbin. I'll favorite that. Definitely, please make sure you ask any questions that you might have in the chat. That way I can answer those at the end as we go along, or as it feels right to bring in the question. But any questions you might have around the event, or hypnosis, or regression, or me and my practice, please pop that in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer those questions too. All right. Yes, and Emma, I'm going to get into that as well. So with past lives, And especially with this event, with all of the energies that are coming in with the astrology, I think that there's a really big focus on relationships and on relationship patterns. Um, but beyond the relationship side of things, we can also look into past lives for things like health problems and health patterns that we're going through. Those ailments, illnesses, things going on in our physical body that don't necessarily have a ready physical answer. I definitely say look for the simpler solution or the simpler source first. If you are constantly tired and drained and you have this fatigue, well, are you sleeping well? Are you eating well? What's your diet like? Are you exercising? Are you taking care of your body? There are simple physical things that we have to do, and because that's a part of our existence, we're here in the physical. But beyond that, if there is something lingering or something that you're not able to fully understand or fully release through traditional means or through your own work, that's often where we need to go to that subconscious. We need to go to that deep, deep level inside of you, and we need to work with your higher self on where is that coming from? What's that source? What is, where's that coming from? And then working on releasing that, because oftentimes with those past life things or things in our current life that are in our past, they're sort of locked into our being, from an energetic standpoint, from the astral standpoint, and that often comes about through trauma or difficulty. So an example of this could be maybe when you were a child, you were constantly told to be quiet, that you needed to shut up and sit down, you needed to not be heard, you needed to be silent. That sort of like a programming, that sort of experience, that sort of trauma can then lead you to growing up and struggling to embrace your voice, to speak up for yourself. It could even bleed into this fear of being visible, or of going and putting yourself out there and being seen, sharing your gifts. And that's something where going back, understanding that tie, that link back to your childhood, understanding that situation and how you developed those patterns as a defense. It made total sense, but it's not serving you now. And so understanding that at that deep level and then being able to release that block will then allow you to step into a new way of being now in the present, and allow you to find that voice and to be visible without that fear. And so, that's just one example of things that can come up. Like I said, with relationships, I think that the Venus retrograde is really highlighting relationships right now, especially those past relationships. And so it could be something where you've been reflecting on your relationship patterns, and maybe you really struggle to find someone that is willing to be intimate with you, to go on this journey with you. Maybe you're struggling to find that partner, or maybe it's something where you're constantly finding partners, friends, coworkers who are manipulative and lie to you. Looking at these patterns in our relationships can point to things that are patterns from not only our current life, but oftentimes are tied to past lives as well. And seeing that overarching theme, seeing the context for that, understanding how this pattern is playing out, understanding, well, is it serving me anymore? Is this something that I've learned that lesson? Am I ready to release this? Am I ready to let that go? And that's where working with our higher selves helps us to know that information, understand that knowledge, and to help facilitate that release. So yeah, all in all, there's oh, hey Ken, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming. I'm so excited to see you on Saturday. And yes, Lorianne, Jake, I shut down my gifts as a child, but the defense ones would always arise as needed. Absolutely. And that's something where, even if we are consciously suppressing things in our life, whether that be gifts, whether that be our voice, we still have, our higher self there supporting us throughout it all. Our higher self is not this being way out there in the cosmos that we have no access to. This is a part of us that's here with us, supporting us through our lifetime and through our lifetimes. And so that's when our higher self can step in, and we have that subconscious use of our power or use of our voice in a defensive sense, because there are experiences that we're meant to go through, but there are also experiences that we aren't meant to, and our higher self is protecting us from those things, right? Great point, Lorianne. So let me just check my notes, make sure that I'm staying on track here, and we're doing pretty good on time. So all in all, with past lives and the various things that can come up with them, um, I've said it a few times now, but I really am intending and setting the intention for us, and we'll do a bit of intention setting as well as a group on Saturday. But we'll be working with our higher selves. We'll be working with your higher self, and this really allows us to find and get access to the most appropriate lifetime or experience that can come through, and that's going to help us to really take advantage of this opportunity and this experience for our greatest soul growth, because there are certainly ways that we can kind of strong arm our way into meditations, or this is the experience I want to have and I'm going to have it. Being open to the possibilities and really embracing our higher selves guidance and support in this, so key, so key. So I'm going to keep saying it, but I think that it bears repeating and is a really good reminder for us in our daily life, but then also in these sorts of experiences, right? Let's see. All right, so I did want to touch back on the concept of trauma, past lives, and the worries that sometimes people have around this topic. Uh, it's not a complicated answer that I've got, but I think that it's something that again bears repeating, because this can be a big hang up for folks, and can, the fear frequency is something that we want to stay out of as much as possible. It is a part of our emotional spectrum, and so there are going to be moments where we slip down into that, and it's about remembering to rise back up, to not stay in that, not to not to spiral further. But especially when it comes to an experience like this, remembering that we're working with our higher self. I've said that a few times, um, and they're not this external god that is looking to punish you for misdeeds or to put you through the ringer. I've certainly had higher selves with a sense of humor. I think that there is certainly some nuance to their character, just as there's nuance to each of our characters. But remembering that they're here to support you, they're a part of you. They are you, and so they are not looking to make you have a bad time. They're not looking to send you through an experience that's going to be further harm to you, because their goal is to help you to heal. Their goal is to help you to function in the best way possible, while also still learning those lessons that you signed up for, that you agreed to experience in this lifetime. But remembering that your higher self isn't going to bring anything up that you are not ready to handle, that you're not prepared to handle, and that they're not going to bring anything up that it isn't the right time to address. Um, they're really here to support and to help you through this process and help you through this experience, whether it be in this group regression or in a session of your own. And so remembering that you are taken care of, that you are supported, uh, hopefully will help any of those fears or worries around what may or may not come up, because it certainly is something where, past life regression can be emotional work. There can certainly be emotions that come up, whether that be sadness or anger or hurt. Um, but it can also be the positive emotions of love and joy. You know, some of my favorite sessions experiences are when clients are shown very positive lifetimes where they're being reminded of a beautiful family relationship, or they're being reminded of this beautiful connection to nature. I mean, there's so many different experiences that can come up, and so uh, I really really want to make sure that that everyone's clear on the fact that like you don't need to be fearful of trauma coming up. And if something does come up that is emotional, that is, a little bit tougher, then know that you're prepared for it and you're going to do amazing things with that, and you are going to transmute that into new energies, and you are going to be prepared to release whatever needs to be released. And I just think it's just such an important piece that I really want to hammer that one home. Furthermore, you don't need to just take my word for it. I have trained in QHHT, the quantum healing hypnosis technique from Dolores Cannon, and I've read a lot of Dolores's work, and she wrote a lot about this topic because people give past life regression kind of a bad rap for the trauma piece, for more of the negative emotions and experiences. And she saw throughout the thousands of sessions that she had that clients were never given more than they could handle. They were always given the most appropriate experience and lifetime to view and to understand what's going on in their current life. And they were all strong enough to work through that. So I think that's enough on that one. Hopefully that all makes sense. I love this. The universe is a jester. They love humor. Absolutely. I've totally seen that in my work, especially working with higher selves, working in higher realms and higher dimensions. There's so often this joy and laughter, and humor is definitely a high frequency thing. I agree. Oh, thank you, Lori, and I appreciate you. Cool backyard. Jake's on a spaceship from Venus to get the inside view of the ship. I love it. I love it. All right. So the next piece that I wanted to talk about, just to get you guys prepared for the weekend, is uh, around the topic of. Sorry, I just shuffled my papers wrong. All right. So the way that information can come to you is nuanced, and can be different for different folks. And if you've watched some of my other videos, if you've heard me speak about this before, some of this might not be super new to you, but I think it is important information to include here so that anyone watching this looking for preparation for the weekend will have it. But I think that understanding the ways that information can come to you is really important. And there are a couple different avenues that information can flow to you. And we'll get into that. But I think that one of my goals for this workshop was giving you all the tools and experiences to have the best regression experience during that group exercise. And so I'm doing a special exercise beforehand, preparing you guys for that actual hypnosis regression, that's going to help you explore how you experience information, what gravitates towards you, what information comes towards you, and what form does it take. And so we'll be doing an exercise at the beginning of the workshop that will help you to understand that more. And I think that it's going to be really valuable because not only is this information that will help you in the workshop, but it's also going to help you in other areas of your life, such as meditation or astral travel or getting information from your guides. So I think that is something that I wanted to offer to you folks, and I thought was an important piece of this workshop and of this experience. So the different ways that information can flow to you. Some of this might be familiar to you if you experience meditation or if you see my other videos, but there's the visual piece, there's the emotional piece, and then there's the sort of knowing or the information download piece. And this is a simplified way of talking about it because, as I've seen in my work, it's usually a combination of different ways of information. But I think that a lot of times people have misconceptions around what hypnosis might be, what a regression might be, because they don't really understand what visualization is, or they don't understand the other ways that information can flow to you. So, first and foremost, visualization is seeing with your mind's eye. So, it's not seeing with your physical eyes, it is seeing with your mind's eye. There are rare people out there who do have more of a crossover between their physical eye and their mental eye. But I find that not everyone has that. Not everyone has it consistently. And so understanding that visualization is in your mind's eye. So if you think about the ways that your imagination can show you images and pictures, for those of you who are avid readers, I read a lot when I was growing up, and I still remember so many of the visuals that I was creating of these worlds that I was reading about. And it wasn't something that I saw with my eyes because my physical eyes were reading the text, but in my mind's eye, I was building up that image and building up that scene or that character. And so it's similar with visualization, and it can show up differently for you than for other people. For me, I often get kind of flashes of an image. It's kind of like a snapshot that then, as I focus in and tune into that information, then I start to get some of the other pieces and some more information and context filled in. But I wanted to bring up the visualization, bring up just a little bit about the ways that information can flow, just to give y'all a sneak peek into that. And again, looking forward to sharing that exercise with y'all because I think it's going to be really fun. And hello, Britt Merritt. So good to see you. So good to see you. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. I love this. Very smart to prepare people. Oh yeah, absolutely, Lorianne. I found that is probably the top complaint that I get from clients who have had previous hypnosis experiences. And I think that there's just not always the care put into the prep work and into preparing folks for the experience, because it's an altered state of consciousness. It's a different way of being, and it's not always intuitive for folks, especially if they are newer to the awakened world, if they're newer to meditation or what have you. And so preparation is so key, I think. And this spills out beyond hypnotherapy too. I mean, if you're thinking about any number of experiences, we as humans often like to have a little bit of information going in, because it helps us to prepare and it helps us to be confident going into this. So great point there. Yes, happy birthday to Corbin. Happy birthday to Corbin early, in just a couple days. Absolutely, Lorianne. I think that it is key. And there is definitely some mystery to hypnosis, and as there is to many modalities, but I don't think there should be more mystery than is necessary. There's only so much preparation I can give you for your experience, and yet I take my job seriously, and I think it's important to do my best to be the best guide for y'all. So anyway, yeah. So I think that about covers a good chunk of what I wanted to talk with y'all about. Last couple tips for those of you who are coming on Saturday. Make sure that you come with a blanket, a couple pillows, whatever you want to bring for you to feel comfortable and cozy. I definitely recommend lying down for the experience itself, as opposed to sitting up. You certainly can do the experience sitting up as well. I just find that it is a little more comfortable for me personally to lie down during this. But do whatever works for you. Beyond that, I definitely recommend, and this brings me to Emma's question. So for those who haven't done a session before, what is the best way of recording what comes through? So with this, I will be recording the workshop itself to share out with y'all if you want to go back and re-experience it again. Also, for those who maybe are not able to make it live but still want the experience, you can certainly get a ticket, and I will send you that recording afterwards, so you can still get the experience itself and still be able to work in this way. But Beyond that, I definitely recommend bringing a pencil and paper with you, or a pen and paper, whatever works for you. That way, after we're done, after I count you back out, then I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to record what you experienced and what came through for you. And with that, I always make sure um, to use my techniques and use my suggestion to help you retain the information that is necessary for you to retain. Um, but I definitely recommend bringing that pen and paper so that you can write it down right away, because these type of experiences tend to be like a dream, where the more time that passes, the more details kind of slip away, or you might forget that this piece of it or that piece of it. And so recording it right away definitely helps in retention. Um, Beyond that, though, there is a level of conscious awareness that you are going to have during this. And um, of course, there are always exceptions to the rule, but I've found that a majority of clients have conscious awareness throughout their experiences, especially when we're in a group setting like this. There's only so deep that you can go with the experience, and so there will be conscious memory and awareness throughout that experience, and you will be able to remember and recall what's important for you to recall. Uh, but again, writing it down definitely suggested afterwards, because that'll help you really solidify it and be able to go back. Um, if you're not a writer, you could certainly, put your camera on, or your microphone on mute and do a little voice record. I certainly find that voice memos and just talking it out is the best way for me. So if I'm, dream journaling, I will roll over, turn on my voice note, and I will just talk at my phone rather than writing it out, because it just helps me to stream of consciousness, get it out. But it's also so much easier than feverishly writing, in my opinion. So that would be another option as well, is have your phone ready nearby, so you can voice record your experience afterwards. But um hopefully that makes sense. And oh, thank you so much. Love you too. um Sorry, just catching up on the chat here. Yes, Lori, and that was actually my next one too, is make sure you use the restroom before you come, because want to be able to relax. And if you need to go to the bathroom, that's not super relaxing. Then also bringing your water as well, to have a little sip afterwards, because uh, always good. As Corbin says, always water. Yes. Yes, thank you, Corbin, for popping that in the chat. Definitely, if you guys need your ticket still, if you haven't secured that yet, make sure you go navigate your way over to the site there. You can get to that through my website, rayoflighthypnosis.com, or the Setmore link there will get you directly to the bookings, directly to the ticket. I'll make sure to have all that in the description box down below as well. I believe it already is. But if not, thank you for popping that in, Corbin. And thank you. Yes, I appreciate y'all. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. I am very much here for y'all, and here to share the hypnosis content, to share my card pulls, to share whatever else spirit leads me to share. And I appreciate y'all here along with me for the journey. I am on Facebook as well, streaming. So if you're here on Facebook, thank you. If you're tuning in from that realm, I appreciate you as well. Make sure you pop over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel on there. Okay. Let me see. I know we had this one from Corbin. If you have any other questions, folks, make sure you pop them in the chat so I can answer those. I'll go back and review that in just a moment once we answer this one. So Corbin said, question, is there anything I should do to prepare for the workshop? So I did, at the beginning state, no prior experience needed. So you are not required to go out and, spend the rest of the week meditating for hours a day. But if you would like to meditate, if meditation is something that calls to you that you have a regular practice in, definitely over the next few days as we lead up to this workshop, meditating on the event, on the workshop, and uh, setting the intention of working with your higher self, setting the intentions of release of um, letting go of these old energies that are no longer serving, really tuning into that. I have definitely had clients before where they get information leading up to the session as well as afterwards. And so I view sessions, and this counts for the workshop as well. I'm talking about it like a session, but it's definitely something where it's like this portal in time, or this portal in space. And the portal is not just for that few hours that we're together. The portal is something that you can tap into before and after, depending on your level of awareness, depending on your level of attunement to your higher self, depending on how practiced you are in receiving messages like this. But all in all, I think that setting the intention of working with your higher self, taking some time in meditation to tune into your higher self, to set those intentions to really be reflecting on the energies of the moment, definitely would recommend. Other than that, the day of, I would suggest eating something beforehand, just so that your stomach's not growling as you are going through the experience, because that can sometimes be distracting for folks. Definitely eating something beforehand, making sure that you're not planned a hot date right afterwards. Give yourself some time afterwards so that you're not preoccupied mentally with what's going to happen after, what plans you have for the rest of the day. Doing your best to be in that moment, to be present, would be my suggestion. Other than that, going and checking out my YouTube channel for some of the free meditations that I have on there can certainly be a tool that can help you too. Not only getting used to my voice and the ways that I run a meditation like this, but also helping you to tune into my voice and the frequencies of that, because that my voice is going to be the main guide for you folks as you're going through this experience. So that would be my only other suggestion, is maybe if you're feeling called, go listen to a guided meditation from my channel. That way you're tuning in to me and my vocal frequencies, and kind of setting the stage for Saturday, if you will. So hopefully that'll make sense to y'all. Love you too, Britt Merritt. And we are always reading our minds. We are always reading minds. Thank you, Emma. I definitely developed a lot of the content, but Corbin put it together for me. So shout out to Corbin for streamlining things, for making it super easy and beautiful. And yeah, we appreciate you sharing the love. All right. Oh, I love this, Lorianne. Words of empowering affirmations help me energize before I engage in any event of energy exchange. I love that. I love that. I've been really getting into my affirmations in the shower. And so I'll do those in the shower as I'm soaping off. And something about the water really helps to lock in those affirmations. So, yeah, if affirmations are your thing, 100% do that. I always also will use my tuning forks, or just put my hand on my heart and say sort of a prayer before I go into a session, and really set my intentions, call in my higher self, call in my guides. And those are things that help. And again, we'll be doing some of that intention setting during the workshop itself. So do what you feel led to do beforehand, but we'll also be doing some of that during the workshop too. Deep sleep. Oh yeah. Right after. Oh yeah, especially when you're working with heavy energies. I always recommend eating something before going to sleep after a hypnosis experience. That way it helps ground you in to the physical, rather than immediately going off into dream world and alternate realities. So definitely a good thing. Oh, very cool, Corbin. I met a spirit guide through a session with Jake. I now regularly connect with that guide. Isn't it cool, the ways that connection can continue after the session and after the experience. And so I definitely, I think that that's one of the coolest things of working in this way, is it's not just about that one moment in time when you're at the session. It's about really the soul growth, and the change stays with you afterwards. That connection stays with you afterwards, because again, these beings are in other dimensions. They're not in, at least they're not, it's been explained to me that they're not physically in, this far off land. They are here with us. They are close to us in an energetic sense, whether it be guides, whether it be our higher self. So yay, thank you, Emma. So excited to see you there as well. I hope that this has all been helpful. Let's see. I just wanted to make sure that there weren't any other questions that I missed. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Corbin. You were helping me too. Okay. I think that 100%. Water is life. Water is life. All right. I think that that is about it for questions. And I'm also at 45 minutes. So I feel like I've definitely talked your guys' ears off. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. Before we go, just wanted to remind you guys of my upcoming live on Friday. This is going to be part 2 of my my awakening journey, and sharing my journey up until this point. So I'm going to get into my first hypnosis experience, where I was the client, actually experiencing hypnosis. So sharing a bit about that, sharing a bit of my experiences in dreams and meditation, these altered states of consciousness. And then also getting into my experiences beyond the veil, my experiences in mediumship or with spirits, and kind of the spirit side of things. So I think it's going to be a fascinating conversation. I really, really loved chatting with y'all about my journey, and I really was very touched by all of like the beautiful things that people said, and the ways that my vulnerability helped people and spoke to people. And I think that, I mean, that's all that I hope to do in these shows, is to be open and honest and share about my experiences, so that hopefully some of it resonates with y'all. Because again, I think that sharing our experiences, it's beneficial. It just helps us all in so many different ways. And you're probably aware by now, but we got that group Past Life Regression workshop coming up on Saturday, March 8th, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's via Zoom. And again, I will be recording that. So if you aren't able to make it live, that is totally okay. You will still get the same experience from the recording. You will still be able to go on that past life journey, still be able to go through that that exercise in learning more about yourself and how information flows to you, even if you're not able to make it live. But I definitely hope to see you there live, because just like with these live shows, I really enjoy interacting with you all. And I think that there's just something special about that community connection. And that community piece was a big motivator for me in organizing this as well and bringing this to y'all. So, all right. Other than that, don't forget about my website. Get back over there if you need any more information on my practice in general, or on getting to that bookings page as well. Much love to you all. Thank you so much for coming today and sharing this space with me. And I'm so excited to see as many of you as I can on Saturday for our live event. And I look forward to it. All right. All of the love to you guys. Thanks so much for participating in the chat. Make sure you leave a comment below as well. If you feel so led, share some of what you're excited for in the coming year with the astrological new year shifting, or what you're excited for about the workshop, because I'm very excited. All right. Thank you all. All the love to you. Talk to you soon.